You know, he's starting to tell us what he wants to do. Do you see? You feel, you know, that I'm Doug Royston. I've had a marionette theater for about 30-some years in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I do puppetry both as a pure art form and also as an applied art form. I've done all kinds of applications of puppetry and writing, puppetry and reading, puppetry and science even. I have an art history degree, and that sends me into the visual arts and into the three-dimensional arts. And I basically have an English degree, which sends me into writing. And then I wound up doing a lot of, I wound up getting certified in art ed. Puppetry doesn't make sense to all people on earth. But if you take my vectors and put it there, yeah, it did. Really, puppetry also has this incredible way of approaching ideas and of approaching ethical problems, ethical questions, all of these things that I'm really, really interested in as well. Since I don't do that much touring anymore and I am more at home, I have started to collect ideas and perceptions that have occurred to me over this kind of crazy puppet career of mine. And a really great piece of theater is a love feast. It is about that. It is just really everybody trusting each other, and everybody has become one with the play. The cultural soil is what it's like to be creative in a place that really supports creativity, that really wants creativity, where there's a lot of creative people, there's a lot of respect for creativity in the society, and how that is beyond money. The old form of puppetry is, okay, we're going to do a fairy tale, and then we're going to make a king and a queen and a princess, okay? And then we're going to put them on stage, and they're going to act out the story, okay? So the puppets are slaves to the story, all right? Story's slaves to the puppet. Okay. What contemporary puppetry says is you take diverse situations or stories or ideas, and then you ask the puppets what can they be. And when the puppets tell you what they can be, then that not only allows the puppets to be their most maximum, used at their most maximum, but they also change the story. If you're a puppeteer, you got to make a dragon, don't you? The dragon is kind of one of a set of trials that these pilgrims who are journeying to the west, from the east to the west, go on this journey, which is a set of trials. The dragon is one of those trials. I haven't spent too much time trying to interpret what the meaning of the dragon is. He's the white dragon. The dragon is in 4 parts. And this is the headpiece, and the headpiece is run by 2 people. The dragon's going to have all kinds of good motion like this. They'll hold on to these two poles, and so that the main person has the dragon on his shoulders. And the wings are going to be able to have some of the same kind of slow motion qualities. They're going to be, but it's just there'll be 2 wing holders, and the wings will be able to be choreographed so that both wings could go like that, and then back or front and forward. We don't know what they can do. We'll be seeing next week when I start making the wings. What I'd like you to be able to do is for him to completely rise up and then be able to stand up one more run, even if we have a little ramp there. that the whole thing walk right up the ramp to just be god-awfully big, you know? Because what we're after is big.
Watch out, we're going to go off here. Right here.
Shield bearers. The shields will go, let's just go, huh, 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 huh. Let's try that out. That's that big motion. Okay? So let's just see it. You know, the dance thing, I wish somebody would just, if we had a dance person here, I mean, it would like zingo, right? Okay. Let me hear some music. You guys are the only cool people in all of Bethlehem. During this moment in time, I want you to take your moment of cool. All right? That means hit it good and strong. Hit everything good and strong. Listen, you guys still are not hearing that toot, 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 bang. I mean, you're ready on that bang, right? That bang is yours. It's up, it's down, it's right, it's back, it's left, it's back, and it's down. All right? The dragon will come up, louder and louder and bring the dragon up loud. And when he's at the top, then bring him down again. I got it. I'll put. Because you're going to kind of bring it up. Okay, let's just bring it up and come together. Go. Dragon it. Dragon, that meant the dragon was happy. That was a satisfied. That was acting. I was acting. Yeah, that worked. Okay, let's do that again. The minute they decided to take the play outside was the minute that you lost a bunch of things. You lost lights, you lost focus, you lost certain things that you have in an indoor stage. But what you had was all kinds of space. These are opportunities that you get from doing theater in a different place or a different way. No, you don't want to build a bunch of little puppet stages and just have the puppets there. I mean, that's what you do inside. Here was this chance to go run all over hell, you know, and attack and go crazy, you know. So that's a proper use of puppetry. In other words, the puppets were made to work with the space and have the space inspire not only a kind of puppet, the way the puppets ought to be, but allow the puppets to actually affect the storyline of the play. You can't make it too heavy, because if it's too heavy, it'll bend the main pole. So you have to make it as light as you can, but the lighter you make it, the weaker it is. And then the weaker it is, you have to re-strengthen it. But at a certain point, then you come out and you say, well, it has to be strong enough to withstand the wind. And really, that's not, and if you're a really good engineer, you'd have thought of the wind in the first place, right? You know? So part of the challenge is Doug, you know? And the problem with the wind was that April, it's like, what don't you understand about April? You know? Well, I don't think April and November. You know, who did you think April and November? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people it takes to lift the Dragon. There'll be 3 back here, 2 to pull this up. This goes up, driving that up, and then this stick here pulls the head up. And then the main bar goes up, so the Dragon is about here, and then the Dragon goes all the way up, all right? Same time, these wings are coming up at the same time. Okay, let's, nice and smooth, go. This project is the sustainable arts. It is a model of what the sustainable arts are about. If you're constantly spending all your money bringing somebody in from California, how do you keep this? How do you keep your regional artists alive? So you got fine art, you got popular art, arts of entertainment, you got, okay. And what happens is everybody says, oh, this is our community and here are the arts. And they don't bother to separate out the arts so that they can like survive on their own terms. And one of those arts is the sustainable arts. Sustainable arts I'm calling the arts of place. And it's very separated from particularly the popular arts and or the entertainment arts, or because one is mission driven and the other one is marketplace driven. You know, they're on polar opposites. And if that separation is not made, then the chances are that the mission-driven arts are going to wind up having to do double duty. Money answers a million questions, but it does not really give you a million great answers. If you don't think that regional artists are worth the money or worth keeping, you know, well then you kind of wreck the ecosystem. There's a chemistry that forms when people are working together, so that there's these various fragile human interactions that actually make a place amazing. That's what it's about, when those things are working. I believe that the more people would talk about this, the more they would be able to define the arts of place in a very kind of biological, interpersonal relationship type way that's every bit the same as some kind of biosystem like a swamp. You know, how does a swamp live? You know, how does this arts community live? You know how many walls are in the Lehigh Valley? How many walls? How many public walls? There's 1 billion public walls. And if you could sell people the idea that, you know, if you want to be cool, you put regional artists' work up. That can be a mindset. I want regional work on my walls because I want to support, that's how I support the arts in the Lehigh Valley. But it's not just opportunities and it's not just money, it's mindsets. You know, the term cultural soil is probably a little bit funky, but it's not the cultural dollars. It's not what it is. It's the culture, it is the cultural soil. It is the nurturing of arts and artists that make things happen. It's almost like it reflects on you, you know, that this is my place. This was a trade. The Dragon fits as the purest exchange with another organization. It's about dealing with each other beyond money. All right, so that there are trades that can happen, direct trades. And if the Dragon represents the largest direct trade I've ever made artistically between 2 arts companies, I think it's been pretty exciting. It is surprising how many people artists and arts groups and just academics and lots of different people just have picked up a vibe in Bethlehem that kind of fits with what they think the world ought to become. I just really feel like I lucked out. We've kind of taken this essence of Bethlehem and added all these places around in my generation.
You are right. Guan Yin is protecting us.
Now, my question is, can we really successfully package these places that we've added to the mystique of Bethlehem and pass them on? We need people in politics who understands this better. They project this business, taxes, jobs thing, and they're not looking at this thing. The trouble is there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to look at this, and they don't get this. I mean, my feeling is they don't get what I just said, or don't think it's really important. Or if they heard it, they might say, well, maybe I ought to think about that.
We keep asking the sustainable arts to prove themselves through how much money they make, through how many people come, through what kind of audiences and what kind of employment figures. That is not how you show the benefits of the community arts or the sustainable arts. That's not what their powers are. Their powers are in this pulse that they create. We can actually measure that pulse. We can count it. And so why am I into it? Because I got to do all kinds of great things. Because I lived in a place, Bethlehem, I worked in a place and in buildings like the Ice House that allowed me to do what I did. And I just don't see that happening for younger people.
Well, what I'd like to see is the creation of a city government to embrace the really intrinsic accomplishments of the last 30 years. That's what I'd like to see happen. Starts with writing, goes on to the puppet, okay, goes on to the play. You think it stops there? No. The play, what about the play 5 years later? So this is a kind of micro creative process that just keeps kind of expanding.